What? You're not enjoying the love and joy that you want? We can't have that. Hi, I'm Maya, and I've been doing healing work, energy work, and problem solving for myself and others for more than 3 decades. And this is 7 beliefs to increase the love and joy in your life. Whether what you want is more romance love, more family love, more self-love, or some other kind of love, there's a beautiful Rumi quote that says, your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you have built against it. What we focus on, we attract more of, and our vibe determines what we bring into our experience. Today's conversation is one in a series I call the Living Love course. If you're interested in that, there's a link in the description. 1, we are surrounded in love, swimming in it. First, just look at the objects around you. Every object came out of someone's delight and joy. Every object around you, every object on your body is an act of love. Somewhere there were engineers who were taking hours and hours to decide on every little detail of how this would be engineered to suit someone's joy. Or the tapestry behind me. Someone took hours and hours designing how the color would go on the fabric, or at the very least, they were really in love with making sales. Look around you, pick any object around you, look at the people around you. Every object, every person came into being because of someone's love. The people around you, for some reason, they want to be there. There is some act of love, some piece of joy in their hearts that have led them to be there. You are surrounded in love. 2, I propose that every action you witness and every action that comes out of you is sourced in love. For years, I studied with a man by the name of Marshall Rosenberg, who wrote a book called NVC, Nonviolent Communication, A Language of Compassion. And in it, he talks about core values and how every act, every thought, every behavior, your behaviors, my behaviors, are all sourced in a desire to meet a beautiful, innocent core value, a need. Some vision of what is possible comes through the heart of our capacity to imagine infinite ideal worlds. And we take action to try to meet those visions, to meet those ideals, to meet those needs and core values. When we can see the innocent, beautiful, loving core value behind every action, everything in the world is an outcome of love. Once you have the eyes to be able to see the innocent core value and the beautiful ideals behind every action, every word, every deed, be careful, you can't unsee that. Suddenly, the whole world is full of love. 3, if you're aware of quantum mechanics, you understand that all matter is made of vibrations. Vibrations can be described as peaks and troughs and nodal points. One way that the mystics talked about this is they talked about the divine masculine and the divine feminine, essential energetic dynamics, where the divine masculine is moving away from and the divine feminine is moving toward. Think about the divine masculine and the divine feminine in yourself. Think about the places where you want to move towards something, or the places where you want to move away from something. In both cases, there's a desire, a yearning, some beautiful vision behind that movement. When particles come together and bond, there's something about the essence in each of those particles that brings them together. And when particles move away from each other, it's because there's something in their essence that seeks to bond or have expression in its autonomy elsewhere. All vibration, all peaks and troughs boil down to love. I like to think about this in terms of the very first impulse. I am pulse of the universe. The ancients talk about the ether, the akasha, the plenum, the waters. Even in the Bible, it says, and God said, let there be light. And before that beginning, there was just stillness, an infinite potential waiting to come into existence. What was behind that first pulse, that first tremor? You've probably heard the Descartes quote, I think, therefore I am. Thought is a vibration. Thought are cymatic impulses that happen across the neurons in our brains. Some of the most primary, essential thoughts we have are, who am I? Do I actually exist? What am I? I propose that these are in us because that is the fabric of which we are made. We are made of that infinite energy. We are made of those vibrational dynamics, that first impulse that cohered eventually into atomic particles, that coheres again eventually into particles, that coheres into planets and stars and you and me. Even the question, do I exist, is a kind of love. It's curiosity moving toward knowing, moving toward clarity. Even the question, who am I, has that same curiosity and desire to know. All vibration boils down to love. 4, your name is love. I want to read you a quote from one of my favorite books. It's by Glenda Green, and it's titled Love Without End. Like a ray of light, you are an entity of love. Love is the name of God, and love is your name as well. You are known and shall always be known by the nature of your love. That is your immortal name. Love is the essence of our true beingness. Love is not something that you do or don't do, give or don't give, receive or don't receive. It's not a commodity or a derivative substance. Love is who you are. I think about that in terms of our vibe, our attitudes, our bioelectromagnetic fingerprint, vibrational signature that each of us has, carries like sound waves and can be felt and measured. You know this for yourself. If someone you know is really angry and they walk through that door, boy, you can feel that across the room. You know the truth in a handshake. Within microseconds, you can tell if someone is more soft or more assertive. Our preferences and our attitudes revolve around the things that we want, the things we desire. And there's the love again. When you recognize your own core values, when you recognize the beautiful, radiant ideals that you stand up for, that you treasure, the things that mean the most to you, then you know your biomagnetic fingerprint. You discover your name of love. 5, if you'd like more love and joy in your life, know the truth that our vibe changes our experience. In psychology, they call this confirmation bias. However we think, whatever we believe, whatever we put our attention on, that's what we experience in our reality. Some think of this like a radio tuner. We are electromagnetic beings, and we can attune ourselves to the realities we want to experience just by focusing on the attitude dynamic, the thought dynamic, the feeling dynamic that matches that reality. You know this from your own experience. You know that when you're angry, you can't think straight. Likewise, when our attitudes and thoughts are muddied up, our vibe and our actions get muddied up. Anger comes from should thinking someone or something should be different. I used to work with a multimillionaire who said, for things to change, your thoughts have to change. For life to get better, your thoughts have to get better. When we recognize that our attitude, our thoughts change the reality we experience, the only thing to do is to take that bull by the horns and start to choose our interior. We are powerfully capable of rewiring our vibration, our thoughts, and our environments by choice. If you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. The moment you know that you can, life will change before your eyes. Our vibe changes what we experience. 6, pain, sarcasm, criticism, ridicule, all kinds of behaviors in the world that we don't enjoy, they are all tragic attempts to request love when we can't directly ask or experience it. You know the truth of this if you have an inner critic. Every time the inner critic says something that isn't kind toward you, there's an ideal vision that is trying to express itself there. If you're feeling discouraged or overwhelmed about the state of the world, I guarantee it has something to do with the divine vision that you see within your mind's eye, something that you know is possible, an ideal that wants to be expressed into the 3D world of reality as we experience it. There are 2 paths of what we do with our pain and desire. We either go in an upward spiral or a downward spiral. If you'd like to learn more about that, click the link to this video on 2 paths of pain. Once we understand that even the things we don't like in ourselves, others, and in the world all boil down to a beautiful, innocent vision, a core value, a yearning that's trying to be fed, then again, all we see is love in the world. Whether the core values are about contribution or safety, autonomy, or expressing joy, or a myriad other core values, I promise you, every single act boils down to a core value, and I can prove it. 7, more than every other belief on this list, if you want to experience more love, know the truth that I am infinite love. I don't mean me, I mean me too, but I mean you, I mean all of us. It's all one, we're all one. Earlier, I talked about the akasha, prana, ether, the plenum, the space of all potential. All particles, all atoms came from vibrational dynamics. The smaller and smaller we look, all we see is vibration. Since we are made up of that universal vibration, that universal love, we are universal love. When you can access the experience of the infinite stillness within, then you begin to experience the connection that we are to the all. Like an iceberg below the surface of the water, its peak just showing just a little tip above the surface. We are that peak above the surface on the ocean of all that is. Here's another way that you can know this for yourself. I think of all that exists like an enormous pool, like the ocean. And in the ocean, vibrational dynamics can create whirlpools. And we look at the whirlpool and we say, oh, there's a whirlpool. But that's all we are in the quantum world of vibrational dynamics. We are coherent vibrational energy structures in the midst of all that is. When we die, those local vibrations stop, but that energy just melts back into the ocean of everything. This is how I know that we are one with everything. If you would like to experience more of the expanded infinite aspect within, click the link above for the Expand playlist and be sure to subscribe for updates because I'm putting more of those videos in the list. The more we experience the I am infinite aspect of our being, the more love we experience every day all around us. If you don't yet have or you want more of the I am infinite love experience, just ask for it and it will come to you. Speaking of which, if you want to be included in notifications about the Living Love course, email support@liftnibbles.com or follow LiftNibbles on Instagram or Facebook for updates. Where would you like more love in your life? What struggles would you like to solve? If you have questions or if you liked this video, leave your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for listening. I wish you a wonderful rest of your day or night. Big love to you. Until next time. Anger comes from should thinking. Thinking someone or something should be different. When we should on ourselves, things get a little stinky. I don't know. Just did.